And see if we get a signal from the back cave. I think we're good. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jedi Academy here on RSG, the weekly show where we hang out with you awesome, amazing folks and answer your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. That's right, this is a straight Q&A show. If you're new to the show and not seen it before, we have as many panelists as we can on, content creators from all over the world come on here and whenever, if they can and if they show up, and we answer your questions. It's a pretty easy format. We do it every Saturday, and we've been doing it for a lot of years. So welcome to the show, everybody, on a Saturday morning U.S. And holy moly froly, it's early. Oh my God, is it early for me? But joining me so far, we've got the Alde Sandfly down by the beach.
Hey boys, very excited, very excited about today. Hopefully we get some space question. I'm back from whatever virus I had that had me absolutely unable to move for 2 weeks. But yeah, very excited. Yes, that was what I was missing. But yeah, very excited. Tons to talk about.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Like, just literally, just I mean, so this will be. I'm here for the next 5 hours.
You are. I'm here for 2. So the other 3, you guys can go do whatever the hell you want. So, if you guys didn't see it last night, we streamed on Twitch. It was happy hour on our Twitch channel. You can go back and watch it. It was me eating sake and drinking sake, eating sushi, and we had a lot of fun. And then I was hanging out in Kaon's Discord. Me and Clayton went over there, and we're having fun with folks doing GAC. So we did our GAC last night, then helped some other folks do some GAC, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm a little tired, a little worn out. I'm a wee bit tired this morning. Note, we were planning on doing me and Heinzie. He said it last week. We were going to do the Fosters. I've got the Fosters. I've got the shoe. Unfortunately, Heinzie's got some family stuff he's got to take care of, so we're going to have to push that back to next week. I know you guys will be disappointed, but real life happens. There's nothing you can do. He's got family stuff he's got to take care of. And so he messaged me this morning letting me know that was going to happen. I'm like, okay. And I'm not going to do the shoey without him because he's supposed to be doing the shoey with me. So, I mean, I said, all right, we'll delay it till next week. So we'll get the. Don't worry, I've got it. It's in the fridge. Just taunting me endlessly.
Why is your shoe in the fridge?
The Foster's is in the. Are you high?
Okay. I just thought you said it was in the fridge. I thought why? That is a classy man. A man that drinks out of a chilled shoe. That is a classy man.
Yeah. When I'm going to do a shoe, I do it with class. They're all this. No, you'll have to wait till next week to see me suffer, Mace Windu. I'm sorry, my suffrage will not be seen today. So apologies, but I got to do it with Heinzie. That was part of the deal. Me and Heinzie doing shoeys together. So, yeah. So there you go. But we will definitely get it. We'll definitely get the shoey in. Don't worry, guys. It will happen. So now, if you're new to the stream and wondering how this works, it's pretty simple. If you have questions, all you need to do is put those into the chat and make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question statement. That's how I identify questions. It helps me scoop them up. I use Nightbot as a filtering tool, and we just use this filtering word. Make sure you just put the word question, not questions. Not anything else, just the word question space. Don't put anything else. If you do, sometimes it doesn't pick up. Now, the reason I'm having this, you do it this format as well. We've been having issues with the chat with YouTube. It's sometimes not showing messages. There's a lot going on with the YouTube chat, so please follow those instructions. Or, I may not see your question. It may not get scooped up. There's just been tons of problems with YouTube chat, so try to help you to get your questions answered. And that's all you need to do. Put your question in the chat. Make sure you put the word question, as previously stated. We'll get it scooped up and we'll give you the best answer we can. And then you can go be anything about the game. It could be anything that's recently in the news. It could be anything about your account, GAC. Everything's on the board. You can ask us whatever you like. Just don't ask us to be friendly. All right. Okay, so we'll give you guys a few minutes to get your questions started because I know they'll come in hot and heavy. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Good morning to Mug, Clayton, the Mad Lad Chad himself, Dom, Nathan H, Utah, What Else 83, Jason Hobby, Nightmare Kitch. Yes, I was on streams last night. Super Mace Windu, Skywalker Vader, good Canadian Vulcan friend up there in Canada. Some guy named Samfly. Millis, is it Millis? Yeah, it was Millis. Sorry, the chat scrolled. So Ray Rock, everybody, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're at. It doesn't, yeah. So get your questions in. All right, Aldous Sandfly. We be having a lot of news this week. Hi, had a mercy. Man, oh man, so much stuff.
Where the hell do we start?
Where do we start? Holy Jesus.
Well, okay. Well, I guess let's start with pacing. I mean, okay. So I was telling you that story where I signed up for this TW, and I decided at last minute not to do the TW, just because obviously we're moving into Conquest and stuff like that. So I think a lot of choose where you put your energies in the game. There's so much coming out. There's so much to farm. I think this game, more than anything, is about choices you make about where to use your time, where to use your energies, where to use your crystals, where to use all that stuff. And I think that's what a show like this is really like, is you can really ask people, credible content creators like Ranger, who will give you guidance on what he might use his energy, So, I think, I look forward to all the questions. I think it's been super. It's nice to see. It's always nice to see when they release a lot of things.
Yeah, there was the upcoming 3v3. We had the changes to Gideon and Starkiller, so they can be used in 3v3. There was the, we have Maul Shards being in ship battles, which is unbelievable. Yep. I picked up 8. I wasn't even looking for them. With just 2 ship pulls yesterday. I was like, damn. So, some people have been getting some good pulls. A couple of
We've got some.
So, and then
spicy data mines on packs for May the 4th coming.
Yeah.
We've got a Conquest dropping on May the 4th instead of the Monday.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And then we have Darth Malgus coming into the game. Well, I've been sitting on that one for a bit. Oh boy. I've
literally no idea who he is.
All right. So what you need to do after this is go watch. Just put in
SWGOH
cinematics. There's actually a video that's got them all put in order. Dude, they're like the best Star Wars content ever, dude. If you've not seen them, they're just unbelievable.
He does. No, I have to say, I did go back and read up on his lore, and he does seem like a really good, a really solid character, and I can see how he is so powerful. And the kit looks great. It's weird because he's coming to the game in 10 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Which is like, or 11 weeks' time, which is the strangest thing. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So. But yeah, so everything's on the board. It's an exciting time. We got a lot of stuff. They still haven't given us all the announcements of.
We've got 3v3s coming. We can still see those data discs. We still see those plans. There's already questions coming in on what the conquest might do. We've got plans for the Inquisitors, what you might do in 3v3.
Yeah, we got Fifth Brother.
Are they good for 3v3? You got Fifth Brother or data from Star Trek? I have no idea. But no, it's good. There is so much. Anyway, good to see.
All right. So I can see the questions are coming in. Again, guys, if you have a question, make sure you put the word question for your actual question statement, and we will get that scooped up. But make sure you follow my directions, or I'm not going to see it, and it's not my fault. That's yours. All right, let's start her off there, eh? Skywalker Vader says, fun question from all the Vulcans up in Canada. Says a fun question: has there been any actor or actress who has there been?
Okay, is there anyone that's been in both?
Oh, Star Trek and Star Wars? Not that I'm aware of. You get kind of, once you've done one or the other, you're kind of typecasted a little bit in that sense that face, because they're such recognizable franchises. I can't think of anybody ever that's ever like done Star Trek and Star Wars.
The actor who plays Wicket.
Yeah, I guess was he in Star Trek at all? I don't remember him being in Star Trek.
He's the kind of person that kind of does parts like that. He was obviously in Willow. He was in so many other stuff. Warwick Davis, he's an incredible actor. I find it hard to believe he's not been in something.
Yeah, he's been in Harry Potter. He's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, but yeah, at the top of my head, I don't remember any.
Or Frank Oz.
I don't think of anybody.
Is it Frank Oz? Who plays R2D2? Or who was inside the original
That was the
R2D2?
other. That was the other guy. What's his name? I know you're talking about Kenny.
Oh, Kenny Davis.
Kenny Davis. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
But yeah, no, not off the top of my head, man. I mean, if somebody knows something, I don't. But I mean, nobody from the main Star Trek movies or shows and vice versa has been in either has been in the other franchise. So it could happen one day, but I mean, as of right now, no, not that I'm aware of. All right, Super Mace Windu says, question: do you think this conquest will be difficulty or harder than the last conquest when it starts on May the 4th? No, I think they've got a nice feel for. I hope not, because I'll be angry. Because I do not want I do not want. Last conquest was just right in the perfect sweet spot. I didn't mind it as much. It wasn't as, I mean, still grindy, but I didn't mind it because I was knocking out stuff as I was progressing through the conquest. Long as that's the case, if they want to do a couple of other feats that might be a little bit more difficult, I'm okay with that. But if they get away from what this last conquest was, I'm going to be angry. There will be a Ranger rant, because I just know that Maul conquest, the one for Maul, or not Maul, Dad Bod Boba Fett, that was absolutely one of the worst times in the game I've ever had. I mean, it was just absolutely brutal. The difficulty was too high. The feats were just ridiculous, and it was just not fun. This one was fine. I mean, it was simple. I had no problems with it. Do I think they'll do it again? I don't think so. I'm hopeful. I don't know how you feel about this, but I do not want to go back.
I think we'll have. Okay, sadly, I think we will. I think the red crate. I think it'll be the same, but I think the red crate might be locked behind Inquisitors in a feat. So I reckon there will be I reckon we are going to see a 14 battles with 5 Inquisitors winning in the fifth tier. I know that doesn't completely lock everybody out. But look, if all of us were running it and it was our business, it's exactly what we would do. So it's not we're not criticizing them for that, and it's not, it's just what it is. It's the new thing that you have to, and we did a bad batch put into the game pretty aggressively when they just come out. So I think we're going to look at that. Yeah. But that's fine. Look, that's just honest. I think you only need to get 1 red crate to get Malgus. Therefore, why not make it the last red crate? So you actually are buying 2 months worth of Inquisitor farms before you might get there. So it is possible that the last time you're able to do that one. My God, we have quite a list of people that have been in both franchises.
Yeah.
I think it'll be the same. I think it'll be the same. I don't think Darth Malgus will be. I think also Darth Malgus will have a huge number of Omicrons, huge number of Zetas, huge number of Cryros needed. Again, that's just the reality of such a good character as he is. The 2 things I thought was very interesting, the Wolf, let's give him a shout out. He was saying that we are going to get to play with Darth Malgus in phase 5, I think.
Yeah.
He's going to join our team. He's not going to be on the opposing team. So that's going to be super exciting. So everyone, again, I love that from CG, the ability to, if you get to that point in the battle, I know some people won't, if you get there, you will actually get to play with them. You'll see him in action. You'll get to play with him loads of times. I think that's great because everybody gets to see if he's good and what they like about him. Mm-hmm. So I think that's amazing. And that is almost like a play testing, almost a sandbox. I know you're going to have to do some refreshes to actually, but I think that's amazing. What else? There was one other. I think Conquest is a great thing. But
I don't think they're going to. In a sense, you'll have a feat or maybe 2 like a 15.1 that you need the Inquisitors for. But I still think outside of that, you can still get the red crate, right? Because there's a couple feats that I didn't do for these conquests, where I'm just like, I just can't be bothered. I know it's 15, but I'm like, nah, just ignore those. You know?
I think there'll be one. I think there'll be 1 or 2. They will try their hardest, I think, to make it so the Inquisitors are a hard gate behind getting red crate. But whether they'll get there or not, they won't be too blatant, I don't think. But I think the rest of it will be pretty much the same. I think it'll be, I don't know, I presume they'll move Lord Vader around. You'll have different battles. But no, I thought they kind of nailed it last time, and hopefully do it again. And I'm looking forward to it. I think I might. I'll have tons of time to play it this time, so I'll probably do about 500 battles.
Let's see here. Next question. Let me pull them up. Refresh this. Come on, Nightbot. Nathan H. Shame on you. Says question. Sandfly beat story for the skewers. No. So don't ever ask that again. I'll kill you with chess. Nightmare says the 300 versus the Australian New Zealand Guild Coalition. Who you got? Ooh. Boy. 300 versus ANZG. Say,
Hang on, is this the point where I shout, "This is Sparta," and drop kick him into the middle? No.
You know what? I'm God, dog. This is a toughie. Powerhouses, huh? Oh boy. God, how do you pick one of these? I'm just going through my head. I'm gonna go with the 300 by the hair of their chinny chin chin, and it can go either way as far as I'm concerned. I mean, this is going to that is a goddamn slug fight right there, boy. That's a heavyweight fight where there's someone's going to lose a lot of blood. Actually, both are going to lose a lot of blood. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Yeah, that's going to be a fight. It wouldn't surprise me either way, but if I had to pick one, if you force me, 300, but that's barely a choice. God, what about you, Aldous? 300 or ANZGC?
All right, are these two guilds?
Okay, moving on to the next question. God damn.
I don't know. I know the ANZGC. I bank with them, I think. I don't know who the 300 are, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, move on.
Yeah, moving on. All right, Nightmare question. What's your most favorite and fun counter to use in the game currently? The Wampa Omni has been a huge hit, and I'm enjoying him immensely. Rawr. Wampa is fun, but I am enjoying the hell out of using Fennec. Again, we did it last night to beat the living shit out of Lord Schmader. I mean, it is so fun because it's combining Fennec with one of my other favorite teams and I still love doing it with the Disintegrations, Mando. So, I mean, between Fennec and Mando, oh my sweet mother God, that is such a fun counter. But Wampa's pretty fun too. We used it again last night on a Iden team, and just it's like, all right, are you gonna shoot first? Okay, let's see what happens. And he's angry. He's getting angry. You're dead. You know. So he was wamping. What about you, Aldous?
Well, number one is definitely Wampa. I start every stream with a Wampa. Make sure my opponent gets a prime bot message that says 78, get whomped.
It's so fun, man.
Like literally first. It's always first, and it's a great way. Actually, do you know, if you're a streamer or if you're even if you're not a streamer, if you're just trying to get into your GAC, starting with a Wampa battle is a great way just to get your head used to the buttons and the speed and stuff. So yeah, 100% Wampa's the best. Do love using GG Newt on Star Killer.
I've been using BB-8 with that more because just for the speed, get that speed on them.
Lots of people are saying I should be using BB, but I have a paper because I don't have Vader. I have a paper Newt, which apparently makes my Newt maybe counter maybe better than if I had an R7 Newt.
Yeah.
I think so. So yeah. So at the moment where I am, the paper Newt makes the Newt variant better. But yeah, that's but there's so many fun. The Rat Tat Tat Boys, the Imperial Troopers, are just them on anything. That Dart Trooper is just fun.
Yeah.
I do love the cheese against Lord Vader. Let's not talk about that in case it gets nerfed. And Iden on Mon Mothra is also fun. That is also but I think the point is, and I think what's amazing, there was a point where there wasn't many fun counters, and it was all very GL versus GL and this versus this. But we've now gone into this glorious world where we have all these incredible counters, and they are fun and they're tricky, and sometimes they go wrong, and yeah, it is incredible. And C versus anything, and how butt clenching that can be sometimes. Good fun.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's other counters out there, but yeah, there's a few. Mike Tyson, Wampa, and Yeah, Fennec, man, she just cause she gives you the kick to the side of the face, man. It is unbelievable how powerful she is once you get her up and running, man. That's so good. Nathan H question: what new 3v3 teams do you think could do well? Still mulling this one over. I'm still thinking my strategy and teams for 3v3. We have so many new characters and so many new teams and ideas for 3v3 since we last did 3v3. It's been like what, 7 months since
Yeah,
we did
October. I mean, October, the data's still there, so you can still see it. And all the GLs were in the game back then. I had to check to see if Lord Vader was there. So
Oh yeah, he was there.
all the counts, but what wasn't there was the Omnis. So
Yeah,
a big change. But a lot of the Omicrons have been nerfed. Ever so slightly. Starkiller, we debated a lot about his team. I had a bit of a stream where I was discussing through, and I think my final Starkiller team is going to be GK lead with Starkiller and Visas. A problem if I go like the EP Mara Starkiller side, then I have no tank, so it's too easy. So I think at the moment I'm going to go.
Yeah, that one's going to depend on speed because.
Well, Mara's lightning fast, but I just think without the tank, Starkillers. So I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna leave Mara with EP and probably put Vader on there or something like that, and have something like a fast air. But I think I'll give Starkiller a tank and a revive out the team. But that's gonna really change him. Iden is going to be a lot more fragile. She's not going to work. Because she's only going to have 2 people protecting her rather than many. So I think the strategy is going to be in the other hot take. I mean, I'm saying to everyone, the 5 Inquisitors, because they added that patience, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. They added that patience. Mm-hmm. That basically is a free buff. That's only those yellow little disc things, and it unlocks at gear 1 level 3 star. So I would encourage everyone just to grab 3 Inquisitors and start putting some gear into them. I've been gearing 9th Sister and 2nd Sister, obviously, because they've been farmable. 2nd Sister for the ship. And so you might as well gear up a 3rd one, give all 3 of them the patience mechanic to spread the purge, and just let your damn opponent deal with it. Pretty easy, fun team. Even if you're at 0 star in the game and you've only just played GAC, I would still encourage you to try and get the patience mechanic on and just stick in 3 Inquisitors, because it's going to be an absolute nightmare.
All right, let's get to the next question. Well, the Nightbot will cooperate with this. That is, we'll get to the next question. Thank you, Nightbot. What else in 3? Since Iden says you to take out with Wampa, what would be a good use item for offense? Lots of teams. I mean, she's pretty good against. Aldous just mentioned it. Momo teams. I've seen it against Gas. I've seen it against Rebels. What else?
Iden's Iden's going to be a good clean. I mean, Iden obviously is the ultimate cleanup, because she's going to go first. So I always keep Iden just in my back pocket until I've cleared most of the board, just in case a random counter goes wrong. She can get you out of a bit of a hole. She is going to outpace anyone that has. I mean, obviously in 3v3s you need 15 tanks effectively, and it's the tanks that kind of decide the 3v3, because you need the tanks to protect the damage dealers because they don't have the other characters. So people like Iden, who can outrun a tank, and especially if it's not a pre-tonk, or if it's not a pre-tonk, can be very important. So I do think teams that are in 3s, teams that are dependent on a single character, like a Thrawn getting the fracture, being able to go in first with Iden, stun Thrawn, allows you to maybe hit like an EP or something. I mean, obviously I'm kind of spitballing here because we don't know the exact composition, but the ability for Iden to go first and her first hit to be a stun is very, very valuable.
Pretty powerful. Yeah, it's really good.
That's where to use her. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. It depends on your other imps, obviously. You're going to need probably the pre-taunt in there, but you might need the damage dealers more than the actual things. So I think Aiden will become more of a fast impact weapon that goes in to kill one. Then maybe in the Mon Mothma match, it can be a bit of a longer battle where the tanks are tanking. I think she might be a little bit more going with the damage dealers this time.
Yeah, I think like for 3v3, Aiden's going to be an offensive team. And a lot of my troopers teams become offense teams. I'll still use, like if CLS is down there, I still use Veers, Piet, and Dark Trooper to go take that out. Pretty straightforward. So I think Aiden will be with two troopers,
She'll be on offense. She'll be on offense.
Not
I would
as
say
much
for me.
because with Womps and especially with Womps, Womps is really going to shine in 3v3. He is going to be that one like, okay, who do I want to Womp? Because he's just going to get that much more powerful. You'll notice when we'll talk about probably throughout the stream today. Some characters just become less, and some in 3v3, and some become really powerful. Rey is exceptionally powerful in 3v3. That's how she got the title of Queen of Defense. I mean, you thought 5v5 was bad. Wait till you see a powerful Rey on defense. It is a nightmare to deal with. Speaking of nightmares to deal with, someone just joined us in here, and that's Calvin. Awesome.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
What's going on, Betty?
Not a whole lot. Just having a good Saturday. How are you guys doing?
Oh, same here, I think.
Good.
Yeah, man.
We're celebrating the return of Conquest.
Oh, all right. And 3v3. It's a big time for us.
It's an exciting time. I know. Glad you joined. Glad you joined the party.
All the best things. And freaking Malgus, man. Freak yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I've had to. I sit on all this stuff, and so I knew that sucker was coming a while back. So yeah, it's pretty.
You just have to watch like 3 YouTube, like 10, 15-minute videos on who he is to understand he is. Because I've never played SWGOH, and for some of these other characters, like I just beat Fallen Order to understand who the second and ninth sister are. Mm-hmm. But like I'm not playing all of SWGOH.
No, don't. It's that's
to understand who Malgus is. Like I'm going to YouTube with this one.
Yeah, just watch. You can watch like someone play through the story arc and the different events for him. Same thing for like Revan. I mean, I did all that stuff because I played the hell out of SWGOH. So
I actually did play KOTOR. So not SWGOH, but I played the original KOTORs to learn who Revan was.
Yeah.
But those have a very defined end.
Yeah, he came back for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and Malgus was always a factor in a lot of the stories, especially for the Sith Empire. So. It is what it is. So, all right, let's continue on with the questions. Now we got Alice and Calvin here. Here we go. Neo Venom 2 question. Of the 5 Inquisitors, which one is the best leader for the group? What do you guys think? Calvin, you just came in here. What do you think out of the 5 Inquisitors as you look them over and stuff? What do you think is the best leader?
I really don't know.
You'll have to wait for the Grand Inquisitor, too.
Yeah, well, because that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I have not even started piecing their kits together, because without the Grand Inquisitor, really don't know what we need them to be like. Someone's asked me before, like, oh, how should I mod them? And I keep wanting to say potency, but I'm just waiting for the Grand Inquisitor to come and be like, oh, all debuffs are irresistible. And then that's, right. You know what I mean? Like, that just completely goes to waste. So, like, are they an entirely turn meter generated team? Are they going to get like 100 speed? I don't know. But current leads, the one that I really kind of liked the most was actually the newest one, the Fifth Brother. Mm-hmm. Because while in territory wars with the enemy leaders, Jedi abilities, gains, whenever they gain retribution, which can't be resisted, whenever enemy gains. This was huge, the very, very end of this. And this is kind of something that we see with Aiden, where Aiden is obviously modeled to beat rebels, but she has very direct synergy against any type of out-of-turn attacks, correct?
Yeah.
And a ton of teams do that. Fifth Brother's lead, while it is specifically aimed against Shakti, gaining 15% turn meter whenever an enemy gains bonus turn meter. That is something that's going to be universally very good. Like, imagine taking this against Grievous, and every single time they hit a target lock character and they're gaining, 4% turn meter, you're gaining 15 on top of that. So obviously Grand Inquisitor I think is going to be the best, but the one that interests me the most right now is Fifth Brother, just because I think it has a lot of viability outside of the main team that he's meant for.
All right. What do you think, Aldis?
Yep. Well, my 3v3 team, like I said, I'm just going to stick at one. Ninth Sister will be the tanks. Second Sister will be the damage. And it'll either be the new guy, Data from Star Trek, the guy in the parrot hat. Or I also think Greta, the German-Dutch one. What her name? She looks... Her leadership's also very good. So one of those two. Yeah, so I'm ignoring the other one, whichever one. Yeah, so the two newer ones, the one with the yellow face that looks slightly Germanic.
Oh my god.
And the one that looks like he's not seen enough sun, with a pirate hat on. Those two are probably the best. And I think I'm going to put those, they'll be the leader, and then I think Ninth Sister will be the tank, and then Second Sister will be the damage, and I'll unlock the patiences, and I'll toss them in defense, and my opponent can deal with all that purge nonsense.
Right. So, Nathan H. question: what 3v3 squads do you think could beat GMK and Lord Vader?
GMK can.
Yeah, GMK can beat GMK.
and Vader. So yeah, GML I think can beat them both.
Yeah, he can.
JML struggled with JMK in 3v3.
Yeah, but not Lord Vader. I think he can handle Lord Vader.
Yeah.
I think he can too, yeah.
JMK, yeah, that's well.
I think people were doing mostly Mir or Ray last time.
Yeah, that's all you could really do. I mean, we have Fennec now, and I know she gets a little bit more for Lord Vader. So she'll still be okay depending on which lineup they use.
The cheese still works. SOKR and the two Night Sisters.
Yeah, you can do
well,
that
even SOKR solo. He'll solo almost any Lord Vader comp. Now they don't have Royal Guard in there. You just stun Thrawn, and they can't do anything.
No.
Yeah.
He's just going to suck that mastery out of them.
I also learned, because I've only got a G12 paper zombie, anytime Thrawn tries to fracture my zombie, he accidentally kills her and she comes back. So, Lord Vader's still cheesable, SOKR. And I think GMK is my number one 3v3 team. GMK Cat will kill any other team on the entire board.
Yeah.
To my knowledge. I don't think there's one team that can stop.
You're correct.
All right. Nathan H. question.
Sorry. So it buys the flexibility, which is, I guess, how I tend to play 3v3. The ability to have one team that no matter what your opponent puts, GMK will be able to clear.
Okay. Nathan H. question: in what order would you relic the pay ray requirements? I'm also building the resistance fleet.
The what requirements?
GL Ray. He calls her pay ray.
Oh.
I mean, you always want to do the brothers, the Purse brothers, because I mean they're just, even on the JTR team they can be really, really ferocious.
Yeah, they're very good.
After that, it doesn't really matter. I mean,
well, I presume you already have Resistance Trooper. I think the last ones are. Well, RT used to be part of that JTR counter, depending on how long you played the game, but JTR RT used to be part of like the KRU sort of counter, being able to dispel the buffs. So that's why I just presumed everybody would have Resistance Trooper as a thing.
Well, yeah, he's got the piece, so it's just a matter of what order would you for resources, do relics, and I think, well, obviously R2 is one of them. The brothers, I think,
brothers, BB-8, JTR, I think are all top tier.
Yeah.
Like you need those four.
After that, R2, 3PO.
I mean,
R2 and 3PO aren't Rex.
Are they? Oh, they're just in this journey thing.
No.
Yeah, you can use them in phase 1 or 2 or whatever it is, but they are not requirements.
Oh God, this game. What is this?
Yeah, it was kind of upsetting because I think 3PO is even a part of the ideal team for one of those tiers.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a wreck.
And I have been running a Finn lead vet team actually isn't as bad as what it sounds.
Oh no, the vets are legit, man. But I mean,
they're not bad in the end, but they would be the last ones.
Yeah, after the top 4, after that it's whatever you
I would
want.
do the Radis fleet and then whatever's left over, which unfortunately I think that only leaves veteran smuggler Chewie. I think he's the last one. Yeah, so the big 4, and then the pilots for to have the Radis fleet, and then veteran smuggler Chewbacca.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how you have to play it. So, but yeah. All right, Durgan Gurgan question: When will we be getting stepbrother and stepsister in the game? Soon, TM. Durgan Gurgan being Durgan Gurgan asking Durgan Gurgan questions. As soon as we get second breakfast, Durgan, that's the answer. After second breakfast, that's the answer we were looking for. All right, Darth Trucker says question for Ranger. For me, he says in 3v3 is Finnick a solo or a 2-man team? That's a great question. I was just planning on using her with 2 bounty hunters. Because she gets a massive amount of bonuses the less bounty hunters she has at the beginning. So I don't know if 3, 2, or even her solo would be the play. It depends, I guess, on what you're using her against. You're using her against. She's not the fastest character. You do need to get her into payout quickly. Because once she's in payout, oh boy. That's why I was thinking 2 more bounty hunters just to get her into payout. And I was thinking Grief and Bosk is the 2 that I would run with her, no Mando. Simply because they're both can call and assist and get her into payout. And then once she's in payout, then she's, and if those 2 die, oh well, then she's in solo mode, and then she can get really ugly. I don't know. I mean, Aldous, Calvin, any thoughts on old Finnick?
I think her. Sorry, Aldous, you can go.
No, you know more than I do.
Debatable, but go for it.
Well, I don't like solo teams. To me, it's just a tiny bit fragile. I think she would be better if she had 2 people with her.
Yeah.
But
I'm not a great expert at her, so.
I think her bonuses are being overestimated. I don't think, because basically for every character that she's down, she gets an additional 25% defense, health, protection, and offense. And I don't see that being enough to really make up for anything significant, because if you just stun her or daze her or shock her or whatever, she has no way to deal with it. She's just done. Different from Wampa, who, he gets all those bonus stats, then you just can't debuff him. So I think those are being, quite honestly, very overestimated to how good they were. I side with both. I think both Owls and Ranger. I would plan on taking a full team. Yeah. If you're down on bounty hunters and you don't have any ones that are geared left, then that might be an option. But I wouldn't plan on undersizing with her. I don't think she's going to be able to undersize much.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, there could be some cruddy teams on defense that you could do it, but I mean, you shouldn't plan. You should make a plan as that part. It's not a Wampa. So
one of the most important things about 3v3s, I always remind people, is that in 5v5 you have in Kyber 1, and I don't know how you have 11 teams of 5 people. So you have 55 characters on defense. Whereas in 3s, you have 15 teams of 3 people. So you only have 45 on defense. So that's a massive swing in the number of characters. There's 10 less people on defense. So every opponent has a lot more for offense than they normally have. So there's a lot more mechanics out there to be able to lay a stun down. There's a lot more characters to get around a dispel or a dodge. So I don't like... I always say to people that, you're going to make sure your teams are tanky first. You've got to have a good tank in almost each team. And then you've got to have a damage dealer or an insta-kill. So I think it's important that people remember that when it gets to 3v3, you can zerg things. You can get through a board much, much easier. You rarely run out of characters like you sometimes do in 5s. It's a lot harder to stonewall people. So I think the mechanics change. So people like Fennec can be good to kill a single character in a team that then allows the whole team to fall apart. So watch out for that. But I certainly wouldn't run her not trying to beat a team. She certainly wouldn't be on her own.
All right. Next question. What else in 3? Last night on Heinz's stream, Meathead said we should all get Inquisitors, and that this is the first time that CG is really nudging players to get a faction. Could they be needed for the next GL? What do you guys think?
Well, then Poby says, Meat said get them if you want to, and they aren't pressuring.
Oh, well then.
I don't know. I didn't see it, so I don't know what the good. Look, Inquisitors are the newest thing. Inquisitors are going to be the thing to get you extra points in Conquest. They are going to be the thing that's going to appear in the next Galactic Challenge. They are going to... I don't think there'll be a GL requirement, personally. I don't know when the next GL is coming. It could be a long way off, personally. But I don't see how Inquisitors would set... I don't see anyone that is like 13 people that would sit together with them to make a thing. I do think in the future... The Inquisitors, to me, if I describe what I believe they're trying to be, is that we've got 5 Inquisitors. We're going to get the Grand Inquisitor to make it 6, and then they'll launch a 7th one, then an 8th one, then a 9th one, and then eventually there'll be 2 teams of Inquisitors, and the team's flexibility will be its valuable nature. In that, no matter how the Jedi meta changes, or no matter which Jedi are on a team, there will be an Inquisitor's team to be able to unpick that and unpick the leadership, if that makes some sense. So I do think, I think anytime they launch anything in the game, I think there is pressure to do it. I think the Inquisitors are the thing that everybody should be farming because they are going to be needed for things. I don't think they're going to need it for the next
depend on
GL.
where you're at in the game. I mean, there's certain priorities and stuff. So I mean, if you're mid tier and you're free to play, just stick with what you're doing. I mean, this is a lot of end game stuff. The Inquisitors are end game stuff.
And we still haven't seen a kit for Grand Inquisitor. We don't really know what that does. A lot of people are rumoring that it will bring things together, but we don't know. But yeah, they look like they look like a good faction, to be honest. So. I think it's unlike when there's other teams that they brought to the table. Now that they've got the purge mechanic rolling with the patience, which I think is a huge change, the kit. Now they've added that. I think that's going to make them a lot better. And yeah, just for the sake about getting Darth Malgus, I do think you'll need some sort of Inquisitors. So yeah, I certainly, like I say, but I didn't watch. I didn't see it. I didn't record. I don't think the VOD was recorded, so I wasn't able to watch it.
All right.
No.
Anything on this, Calvin?
Hashtag maybe. I don't know. I think the simplest solution, and I don't think they'll do it right away, but just make the Grand Inquisitor required for a GL. Then you need all of them.
Right. Simple.
But I personally think our next batch of GLs are going to be original trilogy, and he kind of fits in there. So again, I give it like a solid maybe. I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that one either. Just like I don't think Starkiller. Someone asked me about that if they ever need it for GL. It's possible. They're all possible. But I just don't. It just does. For some reason, I'm just like, I don't see it. But then again, they've done some stuff where it's like, okay.
I just feel that with the launch of Malgus coming, Malgus isn't going. Malgus, and I asked people that know much. I mean, Nev's here, who knows way more about this game than I'll ever know. But Malgus doesn't have a GL attached to him, so Malgus is not a side piece the way that Cat was or Maul. So Malgus is the good character. There is no GL that goes along with him.
Yeah, well, Dead Boba Fett was the same way. So I mean, so. But
I would say that Malgus does appear to be a step higher or more relevant. He's in GAC certainly, but there certainly isn't he's not a co-character.
No, I don't think he's not. He's not. He doesn't.
So whereas in the past when you saw somebody like Kitty Cat or Maul, you might have gone, hang on, this is a clue. I don't think there's certainly, to me, there isn't a GL coming in the next 3 months.
Goddamn, they just need to give us GL Leia, get it over with, so we can be happy. Jesus
Stop
Christ.
it. You're not going to get GL Leia till 2023. How many times do I have to tell you? Return of the Jedi anniversary. That's when it will happen,
No,
dude.
that's when we get.
Don't worry, it will
that's when
happen.
we get the other Leia, which will be General Leia Organa from the Endor fight. But we're gonna get Mary Poppins Leia as another.
Oh right, okay. See,
Yes.
what? Why give us Mary Poppins Leia when they can give us, badass Endor Leia?
I mean, they gave us Jedi Luke and Jedi Master Luke within what, 6 months of each other?
Yep.
Yeah, but that's like two different. That's like two different styles, two different types of Luke.
If they
wasn't it?
did like Mary Poppins, though, she has to be Resistance.
We got Jedi Knight Luke, and then we got Jake Luke.
Jake
Sorry,
Luke.
Jake Skywalker. Not my words, his words. Mark Hamill's own words.
I
He
know.
referred to the character
That's
as
why
Jake Skywalker, not me.
That's why I'm giggling. We're not getting Slave Leia. We all want Slave Leia.
We all want Slave Leia.
We're never going to get Slave Leia. I'm just going to tell you that
it's the Leia we want, but it's not the Leia. It's like Talon. We
It's the
said this
Leia
with
we
Talon,
want,
didn't we?
but not the one we need right now. Wait a
It's the
minute.
Talon.
That doesn't make
Darth
sense.
Talon, it was the Darth Talon we deserved, not the one we wanted. We
yeah.
wanted scantily clad.
Oh boy, did we ever!
Yeah, but we still got the one. We still got the one we deserved. We still got Darth Talon. In her FMBs.
Slave Leia, delicious. Look, everybody, it's the Nev, my co-host
Hello,
from the
everybody.
GA Center. Yay! How are you, Governor?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, Aldous, on the Malgus thing. Because I was playing other games around about the 2012 mark, so I didn't get swept up in the hype of that online game because I was playing another online game and I was playing StarCraft and Counter-Strike and Runes of Magic. So I didn't play that game for like a year. And then even then, I only played it for a year myself, and I played it on a crappy PC with shitty graphics. So all of those cinematic video pieces, I didn't see it. I never saw any of them, so I never really got into the game, the online game. So
well, apparently, Nightbot shit the bed here, and I'm seeing some questions that were not previously there that we missed. Okay, thanks a lot there, Nightbot, making me look bad. God damn it. Yuta, question. Sorry about this one, Ranger. With Malgus coming, how much will Ranger drink when they tell us the Internal Twins are coming? I'm just going to... Never mind. I wish I had not seen that question. Soon, TM. Damn you.
Nightbot did you a favor.
I know, right? Nightbot. You know what? I was trying to be professional, and I should have not been professional. Is there any other ones I missed? Let's make sure here. Jesus. Nathan Ace, who has the best Star Wars The Old Republic cutscenes? Oh, God. I'm just going through my head, like all the fights that I went through in that game.
Stock.
Nailed it.
Look, if you want feedback on games I've never played, I will 100% tell you. Captain Spock. Was he Captain? No, he was just first. Okay, all right, carry on.
God damn. Watch some sci-fi. Learn the lore. Jesus, Aldous. You're embarrassing us nerds.
Spock was a captain.
He was
a captain.
Okay, take that back then. Okay, Captain Spock.
Oh, my God.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
Look, you got to remember, like, from the end of the 90s until, like, the end of the noughties was just a tsunami of Star Wars games. I mean, I know everybody, likes to say that they played every Star Wars game absolutely religiously, but that's not the case because there's so many.
No,
I had
have
this
an addiction.
conversation with Ranger because I was
So
explaining
bad.
to Ranger how I completely missed the GameCube phase. All those awesome games that were on the Nintendo game. I completely, every single one of them, missed them because I never bothered with it.
Well, the good thing
Went
is
through the
they're on
Dreamcast.
PC now, and you can go back and play them.
Yeah, which kind of sucks because I went through the Dreamcast phase, which was
Yeah.
pod race, which was the
You didn't miss much with
oh,
the pod racing game. Let me tell you, it was garbage.
Yeah.
I hate that game, man. Oh, God. So bad.
So I got stuck with the Dreamcast phase, completely missed the GameCube phase. Yeah.
I even,
was,
you know, I
was
remember.
late to the party on the online phase.
I'll tell you how sad I am. I played the original Episode 1 Phantom Menace game on PlayStation. The original
Jedi
PlayStation.
Power Battles?
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh, Richard, that was the first video game I ever played. Like that is
God.
probably the responsible for me being here.
Yeah, no, I mean that was just Lucas. That was a developer that was looking at LucasArts with, maybe we could come up with a Tekken version of a Star Wars Tekken. And they created a couple of interesting characters, but it just wasn't that good, because you've got Luke Skywalker with a lightsaber there constantly swinging it, and you're like, yeah, my opponent would not be walking away from this.
Yeah.
And the graphics, it wasn't as good as Tekken.
Oh, I know, but it was, but you just have nostalgia for those games, right?
I mean, oh god, yeah, you could sit and play those games for a couple of hours. And
I mean, if you look at,
go away,
like
satisfied.
Shadows of the Empire, and all these games. I mean, you go back
man.
you look at them now, it's just like, at the time we're like, this is the greatest thing I have ever seen, and then now you go back and look at it like, yeah, nostalgia. I mean, don't get me wrong, like one of my favorite games ever is Castlevania. On the original NES, 1, 2, and 3. But going back, especially with the newer ones, is like, yeah, nostalgia. it's straight nostalgia, All right,
I mean, you throw something on your computer, like you said, and you can play all these. Games. Throw RetroArch on your PC.
Oh yeah, Loki does it all the
games.
time, man. He's been in the Discord just hanging out, and he's sitting there playing the original Mortal Kombat. It's so good. All right. What else in 3? Question: if Malgus is going to be as badass as is perceived, why no tweaks, improvements to Dad Bod Boba Fett yet? I'm not saying that there won't be any. He's pretty solid in TW. I mean, I think for what he is, he's pretty solid. Now, he's not as good in GAC. I mean, he's solid, but he's not like for a character of that magnitude, right? But he was. Listen, they put him in TW, and when the vast majority of us, in the vast majority of time, we're doing GAC, unless you have, 1, the Omicron's on him, and 2, the team developed for TW. I mean, Dad Bod Boba Fett, I mean, he doesn't really get a chance to shine. Even in GAC, it's very niche to use him on certain teams. I mean, don't get me wrong, he can be very effective on a band team and some other stuff, but it's still very niche. He's just not, he doesn't get the shine like Starkiller does. I mean, Starkiller is just absolutely a monster in GAC. So it's when you make that comparison, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Dad Bod Boba Fett outside of TW needs some loving?
Nev, have at it.
Yes, because I think characters that require that much of an investment should be able to do something. I'm not saying that they should be able to wreck everything in territory battles and territory wars and GAC.
Sure.
But I think that they should still be able to hold their own and be a power player in Grand Arena, in GAC or in TW. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying you should be able to drop them as a solo and wipe the floor with a GL. But you should be, but it should be one of those off-meta counters that you can. It should be strong enough to be classed as an off-meta counter to either clean up a GL or at least give a GL a run for its money in territory. I'm not saying it should square out, flatten it, but it'd be nice if it could just add a little something,
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Calvin?
So I'm personally in the camp that he's garbage outside of TW.
Right.
We haven't geared him up. All of our opponents have him like R5, R7, R8. Doesn't make a difference. I take in Gear 11 Aura. He gets 2 AoEs off. Doesn't kill a thing. The issue with loving him or buffing him, and this is different with the other 3. This is different with Starkiller. This is different with the Grand Inquisitor, and this is different with Malgus. Is his faction is really stinking big, and the chances that you break something I think are a lot higher.
Right.
Especially if they want to continue to develop bounty hunters in the future, and I guarantee you they do. So I don't. I think it kind of sucks outside of TW, but I don't know if I would pressure CG into doing anything more with him.
Yeah. I mean, it is an investment. It is a Conquest character, but I mean, we've kind of gotten to the point where, I mean, I've been saying, and other people have been on the stream saying, is just skip Dad Bob Boba Fett. Get your Maul, get your cat. Definitely get the prototype. That ship's a goddamn monster.
You don't want to get behind on these. And right now, in my opinion, Dad Bubba was the only real like half loser. I can't even call him a full loser because he's really good in TW.
Yeah, but I mean, is it worth the investment? If you're in a very competitive TW guild, you need everything under the sun because those battles are immensely intense, right? With the walls that you'll see in those upper level TW fights. But outside of that, I'd say 95% of us like, it's not necessary. Yeah, it's an observation. It's an interesting observation. All right, let's get to.
I've had my Boba Fett now for about 2 months. He's gear 4. He is absolutely rubbish. I'm dead against CG ever buffing a character when they launch it, and then they don't. For whatever reason, it's not doing what they wanted, and they just turn around 2 months later and go, "Oh, hang on. Sorry, we didn't add unique. Here's a unique now," and you're like, "Whoa, hang on.
What is that?"
Sorry. That's a bit of the beer.
That was a great prop, Aldous. 10 points.
So I really don't think they should ever. They really need to stop changing kits or adding to kits. People made decisions about what to do with the Inquisitors without knowing that we're going to add this whole patience nonsense on. So people's decisions in the game about what to farm, what not to farm were different based on where they are now. And I think they need to learn from it. I think they need to realize that TW is one game mode that's cared about a certain group of people, and that GAC is cared about someone else. So I think, I don't think they should ever change it. I hope they never change it. And just because people are skipping it, I think they need to learn from it. And if they need to say, right, from now on, we're not going to have TW-focused Omicron characters, or we're going to certainly not have them in Conquest, I think they need to learn from that. I don't think I'd ever want his retrospectively applied to GAC or things like that. By all means, apply it to.
Well, I don't want an Omicron, change or anything like that. But I mean, maybe his damage is just not equaling or what he's doing on the team. I don't mind small tweaks to characters if they're vastly underperforming what they're supposed to be doing. Especially if a well-named character like that, because that's okay. But yeah, I agree with you on that. You don't have him as a TW one and say, "Oh, by the way, GAC." It's like, no, let's not do that. So, all right. Neil Venom says, not really a question, Ranger. I still have my copies of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, Jedi Power Battles, and The Master of Terra's Karakazi. Oh my God. On PlayStation. Nice. Jesus. That's reliving the childhood right there, baby. Let's go. Nathan H. Question. My cat is Relic 5. Should I take her to Relic 7? No. Not unless you want to. You don't need to. I mean, a Relic 5 cat works very, 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 very well. The only time I've seen this is you see Relic 7 or 8 cats is if they go, and some people have been doing it. It is a strategy. They go Relic 7, 8 on cat, and they go full health set on her just to make her like a pain in the ass to kill. But then as soon as I see that, I just go beat the shit out of Snips. It's like I'll just take Snips out first and leave you for last. I don't know. I don't think in the vast majority of cases, you only need like Relic 5. She does what she does. She's already got the hit from speed because she's already Relic. She gets some nice stats. But I mean, I don't think you need to take her to Relic 5. What do you guys think?
Nope. Fine at 5.
Yep. All right. See?
She works. Can I address, sorry, a lot of people are talking about TW, sorry, because I don't often play TW for my guild. I start playing occasionally. The problem with TW for me is I'm in a 410, 420 GP million guild, quite a good guild. But the problem is it's an American-based guild, and TW is a very intensive communication timing thing. So the problem with being, when I was in Singapore, I was in an American guild. Now I'm in the UK, I was American. When I was in New Zealand, I was in an American guild. It can be very hard to coordinate my battles with them. So very often I will not be able to do the counter that they want at the time that they want it, and they're clearing through, then they're going to bed. So one of the reasons why I don't play TW very often is I don't play to my maximum TW because my time difference is different from a lot of my guild officers. So I do think that TW or any sort of guild coordination game, and TW is an incredibly unbelievable thing where the officers do an outstanding job. Anything that involves a lot of very careful coordination in guilds is very time dependent on the time zones that people are in. I have tended to sit outside the time zone, and therefore at times I tend to not join because of that. I hope that kind of explains. I don't hate TW, I don't hate Dad Bod Boa, but there's a time difference element to it, which I find.
Yeah, and everybody's situation is different, so there you go. Neo Venom, question for the panel. What is the worst Star Wars game ever made? For me, it's the Millennium Falcon game on Game Boy Advance. It's still the pod racing game. I mean, that game was so bad. I bought it because it was Star Wars, and then I got in there and started playing. I'm like, this is dog shit. Wow, this is a horrible game. Couldn't stand it. Hated it. I have bad memories of that game. It was just so brutally bad. The controls were wonky. The upgrades were just almost impossible to beat because the controls were so wonky. And I tried different controllers and setups for it, and I'm just like, this is stupid, and you can't win. And it was a bad game. That's my terrible game of Star Wars. I'm sure Urz did, and I'm glad Urz loves the pod racing game, and I love watching Urz do pod racing and stuff like that. But for me, God, I hated that game so much. What about you guys? Worst Star Wars game in your opinion?
I actually don't know. I feel like I've only played remotely good ones. Yeah, I can't remember one that I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is terrible. Like, this is a waste of my time.
All right. What about Nev?
All the SNES ones.
Super NES.
All the SNES ones, yeah, they were just. I mean, you get your classic arcade ones from the 80s, like Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and then you're thinking to yourself, all right, okay, I'm like, Super NES, 16-bit, it's going to be good graphics, and they came up with some shitty platform. Yeah, it just wasn't. I want to be in a ship shooting shit, like in the arcade, like I'm sat in a booth with a flight stick.
Yeah, man, that was dope, man.
That was like it was the Star Wars arcade games from the 80s and the early 90s were just awesome.
They were fantastic.
And those early console games that were on the SNES and the Mega Drive, they just didn't cut it.
Yeah.
Never played the Atari 2600 Star Wars Nightmare.
I have. It's but I mean, again, that's nostalgia. You have to give. I look at a game not like so much for the graphics and stuff, but I look at it at the time. Did I have a lot of fun playing it? And like even I played Star Wars on the Atari 5200, and it was just a little mouse cursor that you just moved around, but you were shooting TIE fighters. It was a dumbed down version of the arcade game there, Nev. Yeah, I mean. I played that religiously for like.
No, I took because I was an IT geek when I was in the army. I took emulators with me on my laptop to Iraq in 2003. So I'm sat in the office, and every now and then somebody would like walk past because I was in an open workspace. It was Basra International Airport. So if you're doing something on your laptop, everybody could see what you're doing, and people would see me playing Star Wars on a little laptop, and they're like, "What that?" So people would come with their USB sticks and they would copy the emulators off me, and then I would give them the game, and they'd go away. So I hazard to guess how many people ended up playing the OG Star Wars, the black and white one.
Oh, so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And a pain in the ass to play on a keyboard. Watching people trying to do it using the up, down, and left, right.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so funny. So funny.
Oh my God.
I loved Fleet. Was it Fleet Commander? Was like Command and Conquer with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think it was Fleet Commander or Fleet Commander 2. I can't remember what it's called. It was something like that where it was basically Command and Conquer clone with Star Wars, and you were able to put AT-ATs on the field, and they would progress towards the opponent's area. Best game, the Star Wars pinball game. Oh my lord, I've lost many a lady lost her. That is glorious. Okay, the only game I could never get into was a game like KOTOR. I know I'm about to throw out a chat, but anything, the graphics of it were just too blocky for me. I discovered it well out of time.
Well, that's why. Yeah, it's for me. It's a nostalgia thing.
So yeah, it's a nostalgia thing for people. So I think that I love the way they're doing. I think they're doing a respray of it at some point, but yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. I watch people play that now, and I look at them, and I'm like, really? I just don't. I can't see it. You know, it's like I'm awkwardly wandering towards a weird ship that goes weirdly into another area, and then it's weird. But yeah. Anyway,
I had a lot of time on my hands when I went back and played it, but it was at this point, just wait for
Fleet
the
Commander, Rebel Commander. This one. Sorry.
Is that
it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Those ones, I think.
Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds, which is the Command and Conquer, the Command and Conquer similar type one that you were talking about, and then
I put so much time into that game.
And then Republic Commando was just, it was. I liked Republic Commando because I was like really into Counter-Strike, and it was just a Star Wars. It was just a Star Wars version of Counter-Strike, which was awesome. So, but yeah, those two cracking games. Those two for the PC. Really,
for
really
most Star Wars games, I've had a lot of fun and enjoyment. From the Battlefront games to Knights of the Old Republic MMORPG, Star Wars Galaxies, the original MMORPG, Rogue Squadron. I mean, X-Wing, TIE Fighter. I mean, there's so many that are out there that I've had endless, mindless fun just pretending I was like, doing the Battle of Hoth, man. I mean, it's cool stuff that's like that's in there. But yeah, it's very rare. The only one, as I said, the only one that I just despised was the damn pod racing game. I was just like, ugh. I don't get it. It's just like, this is not pod racing. Empire Strikes Back on Atari 2600. If you've not seen the graphics on that sucker, oh boy. Atari, man. Back in the day, man, Atari was the shit.
It was the shiznit.
Yes, it was, man. Oh boy.
I've got one of those. I've got the Atari Flashback. It's just, it looks like an Atari, but all of the it's got a boatload of the games.
Yeah.
Built into it, and then you get two controllers. The only disappointing thing about that is it comes with the two remote controls with the single button on, but it doesn't come with the paddle, with the wheel on, because the Atari 2600 had two controllers. It had the joystick with the one button on, but it also had yeah.
Well, that was for what was that game? Like Missile Commander, that kind of stuff.
There was a couple of roller ones, like the ball games. You remember when they first brought ball games out?
Yeah,
I hated those things. The amount of times I would get nicks and cuts on my hands. Oh god, yeah, horrible.
Showing our age, God. Were there any Star Wars games for the original NES? Not that I'm aware of. I don't. It was NES was kind of strange. So NES was late '80s, so it was past Star Wars at the time. Nothing had really come out. It wasn't until 1990 when Timothy Zahn wrote the Heir to the Empire. The books that he did, but there really was no. I think the big game that came next was. Trying to think. I know on PC, X-Wing, TIE Fighter was one. There was a couple. of course, Shadows of the Empire was a big one in the mid '90s that came out. But there was a time where, you know, after Return of the Jedi, there wasn't a lot of not that I remember anyway. But
I think the NES was very Japanese. Developer,
yeah, it was very niche.
Notorious. It was notoriously difficult to program for, whereas the PlayStation apparently was very easy to program for. So independent programmers could start programming PlayStation code.
Yeah.
I think it was almost impossible for the NES.
The Nintendo Entertainment System just was not. It had its own cache of games and stuff, but I don't remember a Star Wars game ever being one that was. I mean,
it was. You got to remember, it was during the era. It was during the platform era.
Yeah.
So it was, you know, so I'm just trying to think. So the NES and the Game Boy. So the Game Boy, you know, so that kind of like very, very early, you know, extremely late 90s, very, very early, very early 90s. Any franchise that came out, it was just slapping that IP skin on it and giving it a platform. You know, and they would do it with they would do it with everything. Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Aliens. It didn't matter what it was. Slap that IP skin on it and make a platform, and, you know, have some tasks to do. So
yeah,
it wasn't like as immersive. It wasn't as immersive as, you know, the mid to late 90s. You know, once the, you know, I mean, when the N64 came out. Don't get me wrong, the PlayStation games were great. The PlayStation games were really, really great. Along with the Sega Saturn games in the
Sega,
you know, the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, Sega. I forgot about Sega.
But when the 64 came out, oh my god, it was a game changer. Rogue Squadron.
Oh my god, I played that game
Rogue
for
Squadron
hours.
and Shadows of the Empire, just awesome. And, you know, the control cheats so that you could bring up the Millennium Falcon and just go through from the beginning of Rogue Squadron with the Millennium Falcon. It was like the most incredible thing I'd ever discovered on the. It was like, wow, I can use the Millennium Falcon. You just start from the very first mission, but using the Millennium Falcon, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, it's just iconic. I mean, it was so much fun. But I mean, we all have our different things we remember for that, for those game systems and stuff and games that we all played. So there you go. All right, let's see. Let's get back to questions. Let's see. Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah, there he is. He says, question, any of these Zetas worth it? Stormtrooper, First Order Stormtrooper, Canderous Ordo, Visas, and Mother Talzin Unique. I'm at 9 million GP. First Order Stormtrooper for sure. Visas, yes.
Canderous is okay.
It's
Canderous
okay.
is okay. At 9 million, none of these are going to be much use.
No, a 9 mil GP account, these are all like surplus to requirements anyway. But if you've got the Zetas, you know, if you're sat on a pile of Zetas,
I don't hate any of those actually. Yeah, I wouldn't call anyone dumb that puts any of those on.
No, they're not bad. They're not bad, but they're not. I mean, 9 mil, they're not worth it. I mean,
I disagree.
Visas, yes, because she's an UFU. She's a light side UFU.
What does her Zeta actually
there
do,
are a
though?
couple of teams where the light side UFUs really, really fit in well. So I suppose Mother Visas isn't too bad a one to go for.
Well, like
I want to see what it actually does, because if she's great and the Zeta's useless, don't put the Zeta on.
Yeah, First Order Stormtrooper for sure. Stormtrooper, no. I mean, it's just especially for.
Actually, I don't like hers at all. While Visas has no debuff, she has a 60% chance to assist against another ally attack Sith. That is wildly conditional.
Mother Talzin.
So you have to have no debuffs. It has to be a Sith, and you have a 60% chance to assist. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Don't do that one.
That's pretty nice on the Starkiller team, then. Let me tell you. It is niche, though.
What team are you using that against? Ray doesn't. I mean, I guess you can assist Malik to hit Malik.
I guess
on a Ray team.
I guess. Mother's Thousands. I don't even know if I have her unique. I'm just looking at it.
It's pretty good. She gets like 30%.
Yeah, I do have it.
Something
Yeah,
like that whenever someone dips down.
yeah. No, it's not bad. Stormtrooper, no. Visa's niche. Mother Thousand unique. Yeah. Canderous, yeah, it's okay. Stormtrooper, no.
I would suggest there's going to be other Zetas that are probably more worth it if he does.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 million probably has a lot of them, but yeah, I wouldn't say any of those are going to actually make a difference. I would sit on it.
I'm just trying to think. First Order Stormtrooper, I know is a badass Zeta. That's
Yeah,
the
because
only
he'll call SLKR into assist a lot.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt.
yeah, it's one that I recommend. First Order Stormtrooper for sure. Even on a Hux team, that thing is dynamite, man. I mean,
Yeah, it's not bad.
Works.
Calling Fox or calling Lobster again.
Yeah, pretty nice. I mean, and if you have Lobster, relics and everything, he'll hit freaking hard on that assist. That dude can take out characters like it's no business. So, yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Let's see here. Any other questions? Wow, we're caught up on questions. Jesus. Look at us, guys. Catching up on
Brainstorm some 3v3 teams. Nev, what are you getting spicy? Calvin, what's your spicy takes?
Well, there's a couple teams that I'm going to try. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what Wampa can do with Armorer. So I'm going to be trying that against. I'm going to be trying that against a GL, and because there's Ray. I had this conversation with Ranger. Ray in 3v3 on defense is pretty tough. So my plans are to try Wampa Watt, Wampa Omicron Watt, and Armorer against her, but I'm also going to try Vader Mara Watt against a Ray because I'm curious. I just want to, I'll use the Mara on my main account because she's Relic 5. So Vader Watt Mara is going to be, a really, really tough, strong team. And on my ult, I'm going to try Wampa Armorer and Watt against a Ray, see what happens. I'm just curious. It's just a bit of theory crap. There's no way to test that in the game. I have to wait.
I think Wampa. I mean, I might put another relic or two on her. Wampa is a gorge. I mean, it's a fun character anyway, so I'm not rejecting it. But yeah, could she finally take down? Is Gas going to be Wampable? He's pretty close in 5s. He's going to be even closer in 3s. So a solo Wampa taking down Gas might be a possible. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Calvin, you get any spicy things?
For 3v3?
Yeah.
Like
you're
teams?
You're just not telling us. Okay, fine, good. You're saving it. You're saving it for that awesome podcast thing. The mad awesome one.
Yeah. I've got... is my microphone... My microphone isn't off, right? Okay, no, I am talking. What was I going to say? I do have some teams out there, but they're probably more so going to come out in a video. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I want to share right now.
No, don't have to do it right now. It's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Save for your content, dude. Absolutely. And that way we can go to these questions that suddenly came flying in. What else? 73 question. How many Omni pieces do you think we'll get for the 4th of May pack? Anything else that they might add to it for this year? Well, that's a great question. I don't know how many Omnis they'll give us. Over under 5. What do you think, guys?
Under.
Man, listen. As long as we get our Clone War Chewie shards, I give a shit what else we get. I mean, that is tradition. I mean, at this point, yeah, I don't think they're gonna go crazy with the Omicrons. Kind of leaning toward under 2. I mean, I don't think we're getting a lot of those, but we'll wait and see.
I mean, they took away the 5 Omis for completing the Inquisitors bonus. pretty fast. They weren't having that one. They were like, "Oh, I take that one away, Moff Gideon, give me that." So yeah, so no, I think they're I think we're getting none.
All right, next question, Nightmare question: who should be or is the better fifth in a Star Killer counter with GG, Newt or BB-8? It is situational. Most times, I'm starting to lean toward BB-8. That boost of speed and turn meter at the beginning with BB-8 in there really can get you ahead of and if you get ahead of the Star Killer team with Grievous, RNG is still dependent. It's pretty nice. Now, there's the other way that we actually mentioned previously, like with Newt. If they go after Newt instead of Magna and burn him down, that sets off Grievous too. But that's a little bit more RNG dependent because you're not gonna be able to get ahead of that team. So you're kind of hoping for RNG. I don't know. It seems situational. I kind of lean toward BB-8. I just like, for me personally, get ahead of them, burn their ass to the ground. Don't even play around with that team because Star Killer, if it gets loose, man, oh my God, it's ugly. It is really ugly. And if you give that team turn meter, like Drunky Ranger did that one time, you have to use 4 other teams to try to kill it. It's awful.
The statistics on both the teams are actually wildly close. Like, it's not. There's some of them where it is, I kid you not, down to the decimal point, it is the exact same success rate. The only reason I would never say do BB-8 is you have to do the math. If your Grievous doesn't go before their Mara, there's really no point in using BB-8. You're just going to have to wait for Mara to go. Your B2 is going to get turn meter. He's going to pass turn meter to everyone else. And at that point, you probably just should have used Newt.
Yeah, it's very situational. You gotta check mods, folks. That's all I gotta say. And don't be Drunky Ranger. Andrew Zani question: I'm thinking Revan, Basla, Marauder, Malak to go with Malgus. I know people have been talking about Talon, but I already have Marauder to Relic 5. He seems like a good fit. What do you guys think?
Both.
Both. It is kind of both, right? I don't use Marauder even now on my Darth Revan team. He's on my Treya team. That I use for my counter. So I guess it depends on the situation, what you have and stuff. I would still like Talon on that team.
Yeah, I would do Malgus, Talon, Darth Revan, Bastila Fallen, and Marauder. You don't really need the second tank, and you really, really, really want, because of Talon's unique and just because of everything in Malgus's kit, you want them to be hitting Malgus like every single time. You get so much out of that. I don't want Malak in that team. I'll put Malak and go to one of his other 6 homes.
Yeah, I don't even use Malak on my Darth Revan team. He's over in with C, so for me that would be a perfect fit for Malgus. Just go with the homies. Yeah. So I may bring Marauder back. I mean, I don't really need it for the Treya team. I just like having it because it's so fun to use him against mobile teams. Just oh god. Yeah, well, we'll play around with it once it's fully out and stuff. Get everything out there in the open. Let you guys play with it.
I would say, ask me again in 11 weeks' time. I'll tell you. It's 11 weeks away, so there's going to be so much changing. There'll be Omicrons coming. There'll be other stuff coming. So I do think that SAS is currently one of the people that doesn't quite have a home. So
she would be really good in that team. Yeah, she would be a nice.
Well, apparently, she lacks the speed. So Malgus is going to give her speed and make her usable. There's a question about from Kitch, which is also relevant to this. About do you think we'll get more Sith Empire?
I'd like to do my job sometime, Aldous. Damn it, you just broke my segue. This isn't even let me get there. Just jumping in there. Damn it, man. Go ahead. What did he say?
He was just asking a question.
I don't know how
Nightbot's working. But I think, my question about Ask Me Again 11, we don't know if there'll be other Sith Empire added. It does look like they're moving towards potentially 2 Sith Empire teams again and 2 Inquisitor teams. So the landscape might look a little bit different. So I do think questions about a lot of people very excited about Malgus, 100%. They should be. But I do think where we eventually use them might not be where we say today. And there might be other people added that might be equally excited around that time. Let it roll. I will mute myself.
Well, the thing is, these guys can talk about it, but because the kid says, should we expect Sith Empire to be released alongside Malgus? in quotations, looks at Ranger. Like, I'm going to tell you. I'll never tell. Do I have the answers? Yes. Will I share those answers? No. NDAs are a powerful thing, folks. Let me tell you. So that's why we have these other great panelists on here who can speculate on what's coming. Because it ain't me.
I mean, I think one of the things that they, if they do go down the route of more Sith Empire, not lots of Sith Empire, but, you know, like you just said, Aldous, enough Sith Empire to do maybe 2 Sith Empire teams, they could do what they did with the Legends characters. Because, you know, the 4 Legends characters were completely from different eras, and then you got Starkiller in the Legends event. So I could definitely see them picking Legends character, you know, Sith Empire characters from Legends in the extended universe, you know, to add as one-offs into the game, because they know that that there are certain characters that are fan favorites. You know, Naga Sadow would be they're like a different era, but still Sith Empire, you know. And there's a couple of other characters I can't think of. You know, Naga Sadow's the only one I can think off the top of my head. A couple of people mentioned other ones.
Oh, there's Bane, Zana. There's so many in the Legends.
But yeah, exactly. You know, and I think it would be cool to have, you know, those different Sith from different eras to kind of work and play with. I think that would be fun, and they would be money spinners for CG. Because you'll get fanboys that you'll get people like me that just simped on Mara as soon as she came out, you know. Mara Jade, she's creamy. I abandoned all my farming and just saved everything for a solid month, knowing when she was going to come out, and then I did a stream. I did the stream, and I got lucky, and then because I'd hoarded gear for like. I actually hoarded enough gear to take her straight to Relic 7, but I took her to Relic 5, and then midstream, I think it was either Boss Man or Dr. Feelgood said, "Dude, is your Palpatine relic? Because there's not much point having a Relic 7 Mara if your Palpatine ain't relic." And I was, oh shit, yeah, you're absolutely right. So instead, I stopped at 5, and instead of using the rest of the resources to take her to Relic 7, I kind of did somebody else. But yeah, I just, knowing she was coming out gave me the motivation to just do nothing and save everything for a month for when she came out, and just keep my fingers crossed that I got her.
All right.
Jesus loved me that day.
Yeah. JT question: would Darth Sidious, Mission, and the Wookiee be a good team? Sidious, Mission, Zalbar.
Well, I mean, it depends how high your offense is on Mission, because Sidious's leadership is is it 30% offense, 15% crit chance? It's not like the best leadership, is it?
I'm just thinking. Depending on how tanky your Zalbar is. I mean, he is a tanky dude, and it's a nightmare to get through.
You would need. It depends. Your mission would need to be hitting really hard.
Yeah,
I would say that a mission it would work, because obviously the Purple Wizard is adding a ton of damage in, and so it all comes down to what the relics. Well, Purple Wizard. It all comes to the relics. The relics, or you're going to have a huge hitting mission. But she doesn't hit that hard. But it's possible. It's a decent team, but you're going to have to relic the hell out of her and put a hell of offense mods on her, and just it's going to be a wafer thin team, because she's going to be so killable through AOEs or through anything that gets around the Zalbar taunt. But yeah,
I think Dooku would be better, because Dooku's going to keep Dooku and mission stealth for pretty much all of it. So if you've got a badass relic Zalbar. And a relic mission. Obviously, most people will have that relic 6, or be close to going for the relic 6.
A lot of counters.
Dooku, I know I will be.
Yeah,
then you've got the. Yeah, I think something. So I mean, if you're looking to use one of your stragglers that you've had to relic up, I can understand why you're asking about Sidious, because obviously you've got to relic the crap out of Sidious in order to go for C, and then you're like, what do I do with this high relic Sidious? Probably better off throwing him somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in 3v3, I just put 2 of my random relic bounty hunters with him because I'm looking at them thinking, well, 30% offense, 15% crit chance from that, great. But if I had a relic mission and Zalbar, I'd probably go with Dooku rather than Sidious.
All right. Next question, Qui-Gon Jinn question. What's the best composition in GAC used for a dash team? Oh, quite a few, actually. Who wants to take this one?
Calvin's the best person because it really, really does depend on...
Yeah.
There are two there's the best defensive team, and then there are good offensive combinations.
So the question was, what's the best dash team? Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. GAC.
So the ones you need or want the most is going to be dash, obviously Kira, Vandor, and L3. Like that's kind of the core team. Yeah. After that, it starts to get a little bit debatable on who's the best fifth. Bam. A lot of people. I like to run Vet. I like to use Vet Han personally, just because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of it's pretty much only he's okay overall, but it's because of the AOE, and him being a scoundrel on an AOE ability block. So how it's supposed to go is you have your dash modded for 350 speed or whatever. He goes at an acting 370. He gives 20. What is it's more than 20? 2% times 15. He gives 30% turn meter to the whole team. Kira goes next because now she's got 30% turn meter. She staggers the entire team and also gives them 10% more turn meter. And then Vet Han goes and he knocks down all the turn meter ability blocks and stuns them. So now the entire enemy team is dazed, ability blocks, 0 TM, and then you're just supposed to run over them from there. If you don't do that, you can put in YOLO. The big reason for YOLO is Wampa can actually counter most dash teams, but YOLO's damage can keep up with Wampa to a point where you can actually just kill Wampa eventually. I think there's a few others. Like Nest is okay in there as well if you have a really slow dash and you don't want it to get troopered.
Yeah.
There's a few, but those are the core
like
four.
Yeah. All right. Ray Rock, question for Ranger. Will you welcome with open arms if the Eternal Twins get introduced to the game? Yeah, actually I would. And not only that, but I want the Emperor, I want the Mother, and I want the Sister. I want the whole 5. I want Thexan, Arkin. I want them all. I want them all in there. So I think that would be a badass faction, that would be in the game, dude. I think that would be cool. I also want the Celestials, I want the father, the brother, the sister, hell, give us an Abeloth, throw it in there. Let's get nasty.
I think the Celestials might, I can see them turning up in, Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, because they've had the owl hanging around with her in the show, man. You watch the little Easter eggs.
Yep, that's pretty much a part of her.
Yeah, I can see them turning up in the Ahsoka live action show. Not like straight away. Not like maybe not a season 1 thing. Maybe more like a season 3 or a season 4 thing, because we know that they have a lot to do with the Veil of the Force, and the Veil of the Force is going to be one of those things that is in the Ahsoka show.
All right, next question. Nobody cares. Says, question, who is the poor man version of Vader without a helmet? Such ignorance to our Lord and Savior Malgus. It's horrifying. 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 Hienchi, question for Calvin Awesome. What's it like to join a guild that is sandbagging TW? Wink, wink, wink. What? What the hell kind of question is this?
It's fine.
Yeah, who cares? That's the TW. Cool, I guess. Jesus.
We lose anyway, so what's the point?
Yeah, so wink, wink, wink. It's not the plan's failing. Oh God. Nathaniel Morgan question. Lord Vader, Watt, Maul unbeatable in 3v3. Lord Vader, Watt, Maul. No, I think what could take that out? If you say this on defense, Lord Vader, Watt with Maul. Now Watt's going to do something. Doesn't I don't know who. Whatever tech. Then Maul goes frenzy. I still. There's no tank there. I still think SLKR Doc a zombie could beat that easily, right? Because I mean,
What's the comp?
it's Lord Vader lead with Watt and Maul.
Just the 3?
Yeah, just for 3s and on defense. Is that team unbeatable? And I think a few teams could beat that.
Nah, SLKR still solos it.
Yeah.
Maul can't kill a full health and protection SLKR with his 5 hits.
No.
And then you can just stun him once he's down to that low of anguish.
Yeah, and then it's AoE, and then you're in big trouble. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, just siphon the crap out of him. Yeah, it's.
And I think you need Watt for C, especially if you're going to be facing Rays. No, it's beatable. Nightmare question: do you think we'll see Yoda and Kenobi having conversations using the Force from Tatooine and Dagobah together in the new Kenobi show? Oh. Well, I mean, he did in the Rebels show. We did see Yoda communicating through the Force, albeit the temple, but he was still there, right, talking to Ezra and stuff. Why couldn't that be a thing? Like, if you can feel stuff through the Force across the galaxy, why couldn't you have them having conversations? We're going to talk about 2 Jedi Masters. I think that's a possibility. What do you guys think? Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not for me. I think they'll try and focus. I think they will tune the Force a little bit down in this, and they will tune up more the personal side, the acting. I mean, yeah. So I don't know. I don't think we'll see as much reliance on.
Yeah.
I think they'll want to create a Kenobi versus Inquisitor whole new world, and they won't want the likes of, oh, hang on, Yoda's still alive, Yoda can come and kill things. Or I think they'll want to create a whole new space, like they tried to do with Dad Bod Boba and they did with Mando. I think they'll want to create new environments and new connections. Person for me.
We'll see. We'll see if they have a conversation through the Force. I mean, it could be cool. But no, I don't want to see.
I mean, is there really a lot that an old hermit can do? And that's the question. You know, it's like, just how many adventures can a quiet old man who's a hermit that lives out on the Dune Sea? How much can a guy like that really, really, really get up to? Because they can't make it too brazen. Because people like me are going to be like, he's supposed to be keeping his head down and watching over Luke Skywalker, not getting into daily adventures with, everybody in Mos Eisley.
Well, I think
that, raises his profile.
Well, but I think
quiet subterfuge type stuff.
Well, yeah, but
it needs to be.
But no, I think it's what's going to happen though is that with the Inquisitors and they show them on Tatooine, they're looking for Jedi. I think they're going to find one, and I think Kenobi, to safeguard Luke, probably leaves Tatooine for a bit to get them off the scent of what he's doing, right? Because he's he doesn't want to lead them to Luke. So I think that's somehow that's going to tie into the story while we see him on Coruscant and other places in that little trailer. Is those Inquisitors, man, they're not farting around, man. You see that one? I think that's a Jedi hanging. It's like, damn, in the middle of the public square. Oh boy, and Owen sitting there looking at it. So I think also to protect Owen and Aunt Beru, Uncle Owen. I mean, I think he's gonna intentionally go off planet for a bit to lead them away on some kind of adventure. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't have Disney Plus, so I have no way to watch it.
You do now because
I think Owen.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think Owen and Beru are going to be telling him to, GTFO.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, stay away from Luke. If you want to protect him, they'll be. That's what I think they'll be saying. If you want to protect him, stay the hell away from him, because obviously we know from context that that Owen simply refers to that crazy old man.
Yeah.
To Luke, to keep him away. Just stay away from that crazy old man. I told you to stay away from that. You know.
Yeah, but Nev, I don't have Disney Plus. I have no way to watch the show.
You do now, there, Aldous, because if you listen to me do my streams, I stream it in Discord all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I've been doing that
do you
for all the
do
series.
multiple? Do you repeat it?
Yes.
Oh, this is very good.
So coming up for that Friday, I'll be showing showing the first 2 episodes. I'll run it quite a few times for everybody to get a chance to watch it. And then I always on a Sunday will run once the series is over. I did this with the Mando stuff. I did this with that Book of Boba Fett. I ran the entire show in Discord that day, so everybody could get a chance to watch it. So that's why I do it, because a lot of people can't get Disney Plus or don't have access to it. So that's why I do that. So if you want to watch it, don't worry, I'll be showing it. I got you covered, brother. Nathan A's question: what would Darth Kermit say to Kylo Ren? Take that ridiculous thing off your face. You look stupid. All right. Let's see here. Millis, question for Aldi, the king of shippings. Any changes for 3v3? I think we've talked ad nauseum about 3v3.
We talked. Yeah, I think we talked a little bit. Because of the change in the number of characters on defense, you're going to have a lot more people clearing characters. So I think if before shippings was here in importance, and then it moved to here when they added the third fleet, it's now a little bit even higher. So yeah. I think that we talked a little about SWGOH.gg have now added the shipping counters. I still see, I see people now clearing. I see people now putting Negotiator, Malevolence, and Executor on defense and still clearing the other 3 ships. So be careful of that. I'm still going Negotiator, Empire on defense. I'm not happy at the moment with Holdo. She is not Holdoing. But she does kind of banners.
But
to be honest, with Executor, Malevolence, and First Order, you can pretty much clear anything. So I might start moving Rebels on defense instead of Holdo. But I think the thing that I guess the important thing is that 3v3s is going to be even more important for ships. It's going to decide even more. There's going to be more full clears to the characters. The difference between a solo and a perfect banners is also smaller in 3v3. So in 3v3, characters become less important. Ships become even more important. So yeah, that'd be my still I think Negotiator Empire with that Vader must be in the lead, and Inquisitor ship on the bench is still a nasty fleet. I still like the Thrawn one rather than the Tarkin one, but the Tarkin one is decent. And then it kind of ends up being Holdo. Put the printer in the starting lineup. I think that's the better holds. But yeah, it's but no, not a lot of changes. But I think it's even more important. So if you are looking at putting a little bit of love into ships, have a look at it. Have a look at it before you get to 3s. It's going to get even more important.
All right. Good stuff. Mr. Bone, how do you feel, Mr. Bone? Says, question, should we separate skill ratings for 3s and 5s because there have historically been less GL counters in 3s? What do you guys think? Separate the skill ratings?
Nah.
I'm
you keep, there are lots of obviously it's not a competitive sport, but it is a competitive event, and you get different formats within, just like within sports like cricket or football.
Yeah.
You get league formats, you get knockout tournaments. Cricket, you get test matches and one day. So you go up through the rankings no matter what it is you do. So it would just, the thing is, it would then create, if they did separate skill ratings for 3v3, it would create that the beginning nightmare that we had with 5v5, where so you would be given a preliminary skill rating that you then worked on, and starting that whole process again just for 3v3. Oh god, it just seems a little bit long-winded, because we don't know exactly what the cadence is going to be yet. We don't know if it's going to go like it used to
every other one.
which is every other one. So you go 5v5 ships, 3v3 ships, 5v5 ships, 3v3 ships. I mean, they're bringing back 3v3. I mean, for all we know, that they might do an update and we'll open up GAC one day and there'll be 4 tabs at the top for you to set defenses for 5v5 ships, 3v3 ships, and then 5v5 without ships and 3v3 without ships. So, used to say that they don't bring something like that back, but the new skill rating seems a little bit excessive.
Yeah. All right. What else? Anthony question. Ranger, did your opponent pull anything off to get through your teams? Not yet. Have not made any more attacks since we full cleared yesterday. Now, opponent did start his attack run, but got to 2 GLs and has not attacked at all since then they attacked immediately once GAC started. So I've not had any attacks other than that initial wave since he started. So nothing to report at the moment. So if anything happens, I've got it open. I'll let you know. But right now, haven't seen anything yet. And there's been no movement on the GAC front. Millis question for Aldi, the king of shippings. When are we getting an audiobook of you reading the kits? Oh, hey, Christmas 2022. The new Aldous Sandfly audiobook for kits and Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. No? Okay.
I read one on stream. I ain't reading anymore. Things are boring and confusing. Nobody interested. Look, if you want, look, there's many other content creators channels you can go to on YouTube, and they will read to you. Yeah, no, I'm not reading.
Yeah, I did it with Allegiance.
You did.
Star Wars Allegiance book. I sat down in my Emperor's chair and I think I went through the first 8 chapters.
Coming this Christmas 2022, Calvin Awesome reads Star Wars Galaxy Heroes Kits. Brought to you by Smacky S'mores. All right. Yuta question. Any new whispers about another dev versus content creators GAC? Ooh.
Well, I did speak. I mean, I spoke to Doja shortly after he left, and I asked him about this. He did say to me that he spoke to Crumb about it. It is going to stay alive, but we have to wait until the new permanent community manager gets put in place. He said, it wasn't, so it's not something that Meathead is going to have to deal with. It's more
that's a lot to give on his plate.
Yeah, it's a lot to put on his plate because he still has to cover DSA.
Yeah.
Doja told me that he spoke to Crumb about it, and Crumb and the new permanent community manager, that they will bring it back, but it's not going to be until they've decided who the new permanent community manager is, and then B, letting them, because I mean, for all we know, it could be exactly for all we know, it could be somebody that hasn't played the game before, and they wouldn't be able to just jump straight into something like that. I mean, fingers crossed they get a community manager that knows about the game, so that they can hit the ground running, and then I can start bugging the crap out of them in DMs, saying, "Hey, look, I'm not sure if you know this, but last year we had a speed GAC.
What about now, guy?
And we need to bring that back again. So, hi, I'm the Nev. Call me back. Oh, and by the way, here's a clip of what I mean by speed GAC, and throw them the reel that Doja put together, a reel for Doja to give to EA.
Oh, they love that. It was really
and they
nice.
loved that. So what I would do is whoever the new community manager is have them watch that, so that they're like, right, okay, I understand what you're talking about, and then kind of put pressure on for another speed GAC.
Ray says, how about a 2 million GP dev versus an inactive 6 million GP count in GAC, just to represent how GAC plays out in Chromium Division? Sure, I don't care. Whatever you want to do, man. It doesn't bother to me. Yeah, I'd like to see some more, because there's so many great content creators that I would love to see. Let's see, Calvin and Mort and some of the folks that didn't get a chance last time to get their hands in there and get dirty. Yeah, you too, Eldest. Yes, I'm looking at you, buddy. But anybody that they can get an opportunity to get in there and have some fun and it's intense. It's fun, but it's just a different thing, and I think the community really liked it a lot. So
it was massive. I would one of the problems I see, which I would love them to address, is I actually think we need 2 back to back, and rather than try and arrange one, there was some incredible content creators involved in the first one, and I think near the end of the presentation, they were like, "Oh, great, different people," and then I think some people went,
well,
no, it's back. YouTube. Yeah, it's back.
It had to be a YouTube thing because I'm like,
This is still up.
we're if I still got goddamn if I got the Zoom call up, then it's not. It wasn't me. Okay, I was like looking at like, what the hell?
Yeah, I had several conversations with Doja about future speed GACs because he absolutely loved it. He absolutely. I mean, one of the ideas that I threw out there would be, because I was talking about, down the line future ones, what they could really do with speed GAC from a community perspective. And one of the ideas that I threw at him was a foreign contingent. Let's get in, let's get the Spanish and the French and the German and the Asian content creators,
the Scottish.
And the Scott, exactly. Some European based content creaters and some different time zone people.
I think that all this was onto something there. Like we do like 2 speed GACs, but one could be like for the European players, right? Or for their time zone. That could be something.
I'd rather see them do. I'd rather see them instead of going into this and let's do 1. I'd rather see them go into this saying let's do 3 or 4 in a month.
That's a lot. That's a big ask, man.
I know, but you're talking about the same accounts, the same, and you're talking about
not that easy, dude.
I know. But
you're actually wrong, Ranger. What Aldous is saying is doable because I did talk to Doja about this. He wouldn't be. There's no way that he would have the time to do something like that. They wouldn't, because Doja said, he wouldn't have the time to do something like do 1 for a week and then you do a changeover of the accounts to another 8 people.
Sure.
And then the following week you would need 1 person dedicated with who was the dev guy that would do the accounts and send the emails off?
I remember who you're talking about.
You remember who I'm talking, because he was in the Zoom calls. So if you had him working with 1 dedicated person, yes, it would be doable, but, and it's a very, very important but, Doja doesn't believe that control would be relinquished to somebody outside of CG or EA. So, and that's the kicker. Yes, it is doable, and yes, it's manageable, and it's completely possible to do speed GAC week after week after week after week. It's just they don't have the physical manpower.
It would just be to get a better, broader representation of the community.
Oh, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm
different languages, different time frames. I mean, I keep coming across incredible. I raided somebody today who was playing in Korea, and they had no idea who they were. Like
talk about culture shock. You get all this coming.
They couldn't speak English. They just looked.
They're just looking at you, going, "What is this guy?"
Well, this like 60, 70 people just turned up in my stream because I'm playing Star Wars Galaxy. I have no clue. But yeah, I just think that I'm a scientist, so I run projects, and I know that kind of doing a project plan for a single event and then doing an event a week later or 2 weeks later. You're copying a lot of the actions across, and you're copying a lot of the responsibilities across. And I do think if they brought in other people, I'm not saying me, I'm not saying Calvin, I'm not saying Nev, but I do think that we have an incredible community and an outstanding number of content creators that are new to the game and that are new streaming. And yeah, it'd be incredible to see them. But I'd love to see the old people come back just to be beaten by me.
Oh my God, listen to this guy.
Just saying.
What else? She's not even the infamous master beta tester. No, they will not relinquish that kind of control to me ever.
Yeah, because it's literally giving control. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a small 8 account side server basically, but in order for that to be, it's just, it costs money to keep it running
Right.
constantly. So and CG needs to just, Doja says that, he, when he was still the community manager, he would have to justify keeping it running constantly in order to be constantly running speed GAC, and it's not something that he felt they would get permission to do.
Yeah.
because of the manpower involved, and having to divert I mean, if they were to hire, they could bring somebody on, I guess.
It is huge, and don't get me wrong, it is huge, and I think it lives in the awe that everybody has to it because how amazing it was, because it was a rarity. I'd love to see them kind of look to bring it back, but I do think the new community manager has many other things to do, so
we'll see.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think we all want it back, but we'll see. Let's give it some time, and see how it plays out. All right, with that, I think we can start wrapping it up. We've done our 2 hours. We've done our duty to king and country. And so we're going to let these awesome content creators pimp their stuff. And please do me a favor. They take the time out of their busy schedules to come here to answer your questions and hang out and give you the information you're looking for. Do me a favor. Just go show them some love. Go to their channels once they pimp them. Give them a thumbs up. Watch a video. Show them some love. That's a great simple way to show any content creator appreciation. It's just looking at their stuff. It really does make a difference. So one view, one thumb up, I mean, it really does help, and it means a lot. So do me a favor and please do that. All right, with that being said, let's let them pimp their stuff. So these people, most of them know where you're at, but we still have some new people in the channel, so we always like to let them pimp their stuff. So all the Sunflower, can folks be checking you out, that?
Still welcome to Sunflies on Twitch. I've already done my GSC. I do it on the UK morning.
That's you're Scottish.
But yeah, thank you everybody for the questions today. Thank you. You don't need to. I don't have a I do have a YouTube, but don't watch it. Terrible. Nothing on there. Go watch other people instead. Other
just
people
give the name of your Twitch channel.
Oh, sorry. Welcome to Sandflies. Welcome to Sandflies.
All right, someone who's definitely not Scottish.
Sorry,
the Nev. Where can folks check you out at?
Check me out on Twitch, Escape Podcast, where I do all my GACs. I do a couple of other shows. Do one with Ranger every Thursday.
Yes.
GA Center, and then obviously the flagship show every Friday.
Yes, if you haven't checked that out, please do. I think you guys had Yeti on last night.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was desperate to get Yeti on because obviously he came out of retirement, and the new account he's rocking is so good. He's top 200. I mean, we're not covering him in GA Center because he wanted he wanted a full season just to kind of get acclimatized to this account.
Yeah, sure.
And the thing is, he has got very acclimatized to this account. He's top 200. So he's in the top 0.1%. So clearly he's having fun and enjoying what he's doing. I mean, loads of people are doing that, but he is enjoying that 9.3 mil GP account.
I bet he
great
is.
To talk to him.
I bet he is. Calvin, awesome. Where can folks check you out, my man? They should be checking you out. Where can folks look at your content?
Yeah, so we have a lot of 3v3 content coming out on our YouTube channel right now. And that's just Calvin Awesome on YouTube. And then Calvin_Awesome is where we do all our GACs. We'll be streaming later today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we also go live on Sunday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we have the Matt Awesome podcast, which you can find on Spotify, iTunes.
Right.
And it goes live on my channel every Monday at 7.
Yep. And that's you and Tilo Mad, right? Doing your stuff.
Yep.
You guys, I've done it. It's a lot of fun. You should check that out. Really, really fun podcast. So lots of good stuff. So check out the Escape Podcast. Check out Calvin's stuff. Check out Aldous Sandfly. He'll be welcoming you in with the rum and the drinks. Yes, he is. He's over there saying no. Yeah. He'll go in there. Tell him Ranger sent you. With the free coupon for a free drink. There you go. All right, so we didn't get to do the Shoey this Saturday. Well, of course, that's because Heinze had some family stuff he's got to go take care of. So he did message me, let me know what's going on. But we will get the Shoey. I've got the Fosters. Trust me, the ore coming off that thing every time I pass the fridge is just it's not nauseating. But we will definitely do that next Saturday. So don't you worry, we got you covered. That's still gonna happen. So we will get it taken care of. So thank you guys for joining us here. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I might stream tomorrow night with as long as Thane is still down for it. We're going to do a GAC 3v3 kind of early look, like what we're thinking of for teams and stuff. Kind of talk about it. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around it. So is he. About some teams and strategies and stuff like that. So if you want to check that out, that'll be Sunday night if I do it. So with that, I think we're good. So on behalf of myself and this awesome panel, thank you guys so much for joining us on Jedi Academy. Have a great rest of your day. And as I said, if you need me, message me in Discord. I may not respond right away, but I will respond. Have a great rest of your weekend. We love you guys. And